Hello, hello. I'm gonna go ahead and just get started, just so it ends on time and everything. If you are just hopping on, I'm gonna kind of let people in as we go. It's after the holidays, it gets kind of weird, so I don't want to wait too long. Um, but I am Charmaine. So while we're waiting, just if you are licensed, let me know where you're licensed at, what state, and if you're not, if you haven't started the journey yet, welcome, and we will give you some information about everything. So if you can just type in the comments where you're coming in from. If you are licensed, let me know that. And if you're not, let me know that too. And then that'll kind of give me an idea of where the audience is. Washington. Awesome. Very cool. Very, very good. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I am recording this so that way I will have the replay and everything for you that I can send and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So who am I? So like I said, my name is Charmaine Cross. I am the owner of the Cross Life Agency. I started this journey about 3 years ago. I have been in insurance for a long time. I started in insurance industry in PNC realm of things in 2005. Yeah, so it's been 21 years, a little over 21 years. My son was 6 months old when I started in the PNC world, and he's now 21. So kind of weird and kind of crazy, but I did PNC for about 18 years, and then I didn't do any insurance for a little bit, and then I decided to go all in with life. And the reason I chose life was because I just felt like it's something that's necessary and that most people need. It's a need for most people. A lot of people don't have it, and I wanted to be able to share that with people and what the importance of it is. So that's kind of how I got into it and decided I wanted to do it for myself. So that's what I'm going to show you tonight is how you can do this for yourself. You decide how much money you make. You decide all the things. Okay. So no one's going to say, okay, you're going to make $28 an hour, $21 an hour, whatever they're going to tell you that you're worth. You decide that. So you decide how much you make. You get paid based on the amount of policies you write and all the things. So I'll go over all of that. This QR code will just give you access to me. So you scan it, it'll just send you, you'll fill out a form. It sends me your information, and then I'll text you and everything so we can communicate and you can ask the questions that you want to ask and all the things. So we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start here. When you get started in the industry, you have like several different options. In life and health, it's a little bit different because there's not a lot of positions that are like a base pay. If you're only doing life or only doing health or life and health together, it's typically going to be commission based. If you're doing PNC and life and health, then you can work for an agency and get a base pay and maybe get some commission on what policies that you write. But what I was looking for, I had done that. I had done working for a company for however many years. And I realized like I was only getting that 2% raise every 2 to 3% raise every year. And it wasn't keeping up with our lifestyle. We have 5 kids at home and 3 are now about to go to college. We had 2 went to college 2, 3 years ago, and our last 3 are going to go to college this year. So I knew that I needed to figure out a way to make more money in order to keep up with that lifestyle. So when I decided to get into this industry, I was looked at several different companies, but I chose this company called Symmetry. And basically what they do is they're an insurance management organization. They don't dictate anything that I do. They don't do anything, none of that. But what they did do is they put a system in place, a all the things that I need to be successful as an independent agent or independent broker. They help me get contracted with the carriers. They have the systems, the leads, all of that is in place for me to be an independent agent. But I still get to decide how much money I make based on how much I want to work, based on all the things. So I chose Symmetry because I get the ability to work by myself or for myself, but not by myself. Has a huge culture, strong core values and leadership development, time and money freedom. It's a turnkey business model. And what that means is there is a couple different things you can do. When you come into this business, you can just become a broker. You can write the policies on your own. You can do all the policies that you want to write and just be a producer. If that's what you want, you can absolutely do that. And you can make great money doing that. But I want to show you the other side of things where if you wanted to scale it and make more money and make money while you're sleeping and not only while you're writing policies, I'll show you that side of things too, where you can build an agency that you own on just in this platform. So it's super, super cool. But I'll show you how that works. There's no caps on your potential earnings, so that's awesome too. Now, we have a multi-channel support from your home office with me and my upline. Also, we have like several different leaders that we work with. Meaningful and impactful work. It's a recession resistant industry. It's a $1 trillion+ industry for insurance, and you can work from anywhere in the United States. So if you became licensed, you would get licensed in your state. You can get licensed in any state in the whole United States as non-resident licenses, and then you can work wherever. You can work at your house, you can work on vacation, you can work if you go overseas. You figure out when you want to work, and that is what I wanted. Here's just a couple of our core, or what our core values are. They really push personal growth. We want you to learn, we want you to grow, we want you to be a leader, we want you to do all those things. So we push that in this business and our agency, and we really, push all of that. And one of the things that I love is you open, honest, productive communication. You definitely want to be communicating with people. How are you doing? How am I doing? Do I need to do something different? How can I be better at this? We all help each other, and it's amazing. We do the right thing even when no one's looking. You're not going to find people really within our agency. We don't find people that are just in it for the money. We're not going to see people that are just going to put our clients in terrible products that they don't need or that they can't afford just because of commission. We do the right thing because that's what we are meant to do. There's a lot. I mean, there's some other, you can read them all here, but they are an amazing core values that we have here. Here's some of the perks that we have as agents. And this is actually new. Some of this is actually new. We have another part of the health insurance part where you can actually get actual health insurance. This, what we had here before, was kind of like an overall, I don't know, I don't even know how to word it. It wasn't a full, like, comprehensive health insurance plan. We do have that now, where it's a comprehensive affordable health insurance plans that our agents can get. Of course, you obviously pay for them, but you go through, you can figure out what pricing you want, what deductibles you want for your family, and what fits your life. Every new agent gets a 1-year policy for free for all Symmetry agents, up to $500,000 in coverage for a 30-year term for those who qualify. So obviously you would have to qualify for a health insurance or a life insurance policy in order to qualify for that. But you get your first year free, and it's with 2 different companies, I believe, Foresters and one other one. I can't remember what the other one is, but those are some agent perks that are available for you. Now, before we jump in, I want to ask one question. If life happened today, would your family or your income be protected? That's the work that we do. Tonight, I'm going to show you how, not only how we protect families, but how people like you can build a flexible, real online income, helping others do the same. So I'm going to share all that with you. It is super dark in here, and I don't think I have my light. It's very, that'll get better. Okay. All right, so here's what we do. So we have several different policies that we can write, okay? When you partner with us, you first get contracted with about 8 different carriers. We have access to about 40. Are you going to ever use all 40? Absolutely not. Do I recommend you get all 40? Absolutely not, because it'll make you crazy. But we start with 8 core carriers, okay? So we have life insurance, all life insurance, mortgage protection, term, universal, whole, final expense, accidental death, and then the health side. So we don't do health insurance specifically. Like, we're not going to go, we don't have Medicare, we don't have like that kind of stuff. But with your health license, you do disability coverage, you do critical illness, cancer, heart attack, stroke policies. Medicare supplements, we do have access to, long-term care, and then there's dental plans. Wealth, we have debt-free life policies. So if you know, how many people do we know that are in debt? I don't know anyone, honestly, like I don't think I know any single person who doesn't have some kind of debt. We have annuities. So if you know somebody who has retirement accounts that are kind of just sitting there, maybe the market's fluctuating and they're losing and they need to put it in a safer spot, an annuity would be great for that. IULs are really good stuff. We have infinite banking. all these things that you can do here. So if you are looking for something, like I saw something somewhere today where it said, how many IMOs can you partner with? Like, say someone did life, someone did mortgage protection, someone did health or like Medicare. How many can you partner with? Honestly, we have all of that except for the Medicare part. So why would we have multiple IMOs when you have it all here? Or when you can have access to it here if you wanted to write all those type of policies. And these are just some of the part like the carriers that we start with. So American Amicable, around for over 100 years. Americo, Assurity, Corebridge. Corebridge was AIG. AIG, Corebridge, they're kind of in one and the same. Foresters, Banner Life, Mutual of Omaha. These are all the carriers that you see everywhere. So these are some of the top 8 that we start with. You get started, you get comfortable with the underwriting, you get all of that under your belt. And then if you need another carrier, like say one person that you have doesn't fit into the 8 that you have contracted already, then we can go out and kind of say, okay, well, which carriers do we need next and go to the next one. But honestly, I think I'm contracted with, I don't even know how many, but I pretty much only use about 5. I'll go to the others. Like I use Corebridge only if it only if they need guaranteed issue. That's the only time I use Corebridge. So unless that client can not qualify anywhere else, I don't go there. So it's just kind of how you figure out how you want to run your business. But the beauty of it is it's your business. You do what you want. You write with the carriers that you like. There's a few that like American Amicable is amazing. They're amazing at underwriting. They're just amazing at many different things. You can get a hold of the underwriters. You can fight for your client. There's amazing things with them. They're a little higher price than maybe like Banner Life or SBLI. So it just kind of depends. Like, do you want to fight for your client or do you want the cheaper price for your client? Like that's kind of the things that you're going to deal with when you are an independent agent, but you have the ability to do all of that on your own. So, what we do, is there a need for our products? Like I said in the beginning, it is absolutely a need. Every single person, if you're on Facebook or anywhere on social media, I want you to think about, and maybe even in the next 2 or 3 weeks, how many GoFundMe's you see on Facebook because they're out there for many different things, not only passing away, but maybe there's a car accident and they can't work for a little bit, or maybe there's this and that, they can't do this for a little bit. There's GoFundMe's all the time. Having life insurance or like critical illness policies, like if you get diagnosed with cancer and you can't work, do you have protection? That's what a critical illness policy is, and that's what we are here for. We're here to share what we can help the people with. We're not going to go out and say you need to have this policy, but if you're sharing it and they think about it, they're going to say, oh, yeah, I probably do need that. I have this many people that were diagnosed with cancer in my family. It's likely it's going to be for me also. So that's just some things you educate, you share, you talk about the things that people don't want to talk about, and that then you become the expert, and people will start coming to you for that because they know, hey, Charmaine talked about this, or you know Vanessa talked about this, or whatever it is, and they're going to remember that when they think about it the next time. So, but about 49% of all households rely on 2 incomes. I think it's probably more than that, honestly, but that's just kind of what the thing is. So if my spouse died or if I died, we need life insurance for the other one to be able to go on and live the same way that we were living today. So that's the biggest thing, is that you talk to clients about that. Like, okay, real talk. If your husband wasn't here tomorrow, if you weren't here tomorrow, would he be okay? Would he need help with the kids? Would he need, all of those things are things that you're going to want to think about. And that's what you're going to be sharing with people. So here is just a comparison of what our company has done in the last 15 years. So it started in 2009 with just 3 people, and it has now grown. I don't even know how many. I think there's probably only about 6,000 agents total in our company. But in 2024 was at 233 million. I'm going to admit somebody into here. So in 2024 was 233 million was what our revenue was. Um, 2025, we have not got the updated numbers yet, but I know that it went above that. So the goal for our company is to be at a billion by, I think they said 2030. So it's gonna get there. And I feel like the more things that we are able to help people with, that debt-free life is something that is huge for a lot of people, and it's helping a lot of people get out of debt within 9 years or less, including their mortgage. So it's something that I definitely recommend people talking about to clients because we're all in debt. Why not try to get out of it faster? And it's not spending any more than they're already spending. So these are the things that our company is kind of pushing towards to help people more. All right, so what we do, leads that produce results. So our company is very big on leads, but they're company generated. They are, they're made so we know what these leads do. We know exactly how they play out. There's leads that start at 40 cents. So you can't, they're older, obviously, but it's those ones are the ones that we call practice leads. Those are the ones you get when you're trying to call clients and you don't know what to say and you're stumbling over your words and you're biting your tongue or whatever you're doing. You get those really cheap leads for the first few weeks. Get comfortable being told no, get comfortable being told don't call me again or whatever they might say because people get kind of crazy on the phone. But you get all of that out before you spend money on more higher intent leads or the newer leads. So these are just some things that we look at, but they're available. So we're not going to say write 100 names down of your family and friends and go reach out to them about life insurance. We're not going to tell you to do that because one, we want you to still be invited to family events. We don't want you to be kicked out of barbecues because she talks about life insurance all the time. But obviously, you still can do that. I do a lot of social media, which I recommend everyone do because it's free, completely free. You share what you're doing, you don't be a secret agent. You don't have to spend money on social media. You share all the things that you would normally share with clients that you're calling, but you're posting it in a way that they can see it just whenever they want to. And then when they're thinking about it again, they're going to say, oh, I remember Charmaine posted about this, or oh, I remember whatever Melissa posted about this. And they're going to come to you. Okay. They're not going to like your posts if you're posting on social media. If you are a business owner, if you've ever been a business owner or a content creator or whatever, any business related posts on social media get very, very little engagement, but they're watching. Like you can see how many people have watched, especially if you're on the um, Facebook, that you can see like your insights. You can see how many people are watching or looking at it, even if they're not commenting. So those just a couple of tips there is like, yeah, we have leads that you can buy. You can reach out to friends and family if you want to, if you don't have the money to invest in leads, so you can definitely do that. But our system is designed to come in, buy leads. I thought someone was coming in my room. Buy leads, call the leads, get practice on the phones, set appointments, run appointments, issue policies, rinse and repeat. Okay, that's what the system is designed to do. You just follow, follow, follow. Huge training system to follow all the things, but that's kind of what our system is. So, what we do, an agent roadmap to success. We have the sales enablement system, marketing recruiting support, a CRM and lead management. We have all of that ready for you so you don't have to go out and create that on your own. It's already done for you. You just have to jump in and start following it. We have group coaching, we have one-on-one coaching, learning systems, development tools, weekly training calls. Like we have in our team, we have a accountability group every morning. That's at I think well I'm trying to think of the time zone. It's 9:30 a.m. Central Time every morning for half an hour. It's just like okay, these are my goals. This is what I want to do today. This is how what I want to accomplish, and we all kind of hold each other accountable in those groups. And then we have other throughout the week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday. Well, every day during the week we have a like a Zoom workroom where you can go in. You can listen to people live dialing. You can listen to people interviewing people to join the business. You can listen to live appointments. All of those things are things that you can do inside of our workroom, which is amazing. And it's that we have all our meetings there. Our everything is in our workroom. So it's one place. You don't have to find 10 different Zooms. It's one place for everything. So it's really, really awesome for you. So here's the thing. What is it going to take to work for yourself? So this clearly is not a hourly based job. It's not something that you're going to sit at your desk for 8 hours and you're going to get paid for 8 hours. That is not how it works. So you're only getting paid when you're writing policies. So you're needing to work on income producing activities. How are you going to reach out to clients? How are you going to do this? How are you going to, invest in your business, whatever it is, but you have to be doing that on your own. That's on you. That's no one's going to be telling you when to work, how to work, any of that. That it's your job, okay? So what is it going to take? It takes time. It takes energy, patience, mental toughness, because if you're used to working a job where they tell you be at clocked in at 8 o'clock and you can leave at 4:30, it's not like that when you're working for yourself. You have to figure that out on your own. Like, what is your schedule going to be? That's on you. That's how you figure out. And it takes belief that you can do this. You have to believe in yourself enough to do something like this because it is not an hourly based job. It is a 1099. You get paid when you write policies. Do you get paid great? Absolutely. An average policy, well, I like to say 1,000 just because it's easier math, but the average policy is about $1,200. So if it's an $800, and let somebody in real quick. The average policy is $1,000. So if you have $1,000 policy and we start at 80% commission, you could be looking at an $800 commission. And the carriers pay you 75% of that up front. So one policy can equal 600 and something dollars in your bank account in 24 to 48 hours. That's a big deal. Two of those a week, 1,200 plus dollars. You just have to kind of figure out what it is you're looking for. What are your goals? How much money do you want to make? And you figure that out. So this is all something that you have to see the vision for yourself, because I don't know how much money you need. Only you know, and only your family knows that, but we can help you along the way. So how do we do it? Okay, so all of these systems, like we have, it's a whole single sign-in. So we have a main hub that's called Quilt, or it's called HQ. And when you go in there, it logs you to your leads, it logs you to the training, it locks you like all the things, but it's one login. And then you connect to all these other portals. So there's a calendar, there's lead management, product resources, calendar, dashboards for your policies. All of this is in one system. So you don't have to worry about where everything is housed. And this is the coolest thing ever. Switchboard Funnel. So this is our CRM. This is one thing you have to pay for. So when you come into the business, you don't have to pay to come in, but you do pay to get licensed if you're not licensed. You do pay for leads if you're going to be doing leads, which if you want to be successful, the average agent spends at least $250 a week in order to be successful. But those are the ones, like if I say I want to make $2,500 in a week, you want to think about, you're probably going to spend about 10% of how much you want to make. So if you want to make 5,000 a week, you're probably spending more like $500 a week on leads. So that's just kind of how to kind of picture that. But Switchboard Funnel is a system that's a CRM. When you dial, it dials for you. It could do auto dialing where it'll just dial and dial and dial until somebody picks up. When the person picks up the phone, it brings the screen up right in the front that says, um, whoever the name is, and it kind of walks you through. It's like kind of like a script, but it tells you, okay, you're going to ask this question, you're going to say this. And as you're asking the questions, you're just filling out this form. So you're filling out all the information, and what it's doing on the side is making some quotes already for you on this side. You may have to do more research, you may have to call underwriting, you may have to do whatever, but at least it kind of gives you an idea of what they might be paying. So over here is where it would populate the quotes, okay? And then there's a note section. So if you talk to somebody, if they tell you to call them back, you put it in the notes. You set a reminder to call that person. There's all of these tools all in one system, and it's absolutely incredible. This system, though, is $59 a month. So it's $59 a month. I'm telling you, though, the amount of time it saves you, and as much more productivity you get done, it's so worth it. Like I can dial from my phone and maybe get 40 dials in an hour. But on this, if it's double or triple dialing my clients, that's getting like 90, 100, 150 dials in an hour. If especially if they're not answering and you're not on the phone a lot, it can get through a lot of those real quick. So definitely worth it. Definitely recommend it if you, but you don't have to have it. Obviously, you don't have to have this, but just to make your processes faster. So at the beginning, you may not want it until you're like bringing money in, but that's all up to you. All right, Navigator is very similar. Okay, so CRM, switchboard funnel, it does give you quotes. When you go to Navigator, though, the Navigator is actually where you can plug in everything. You plug in their name, their address, their social security number, their height, their weight, all their medical issues. All these things are going to be plugged in there, and it kind of gives you more like of what you would do in an actual application. It will populate at the end. It'll tell you here, these based on what you told me, these are the carriers that they're likely to qualify for. We can't guarantee that until we run their numbers and run their medical background. But based on what you told me, so if they're giving you the true answers, this is what you're going to be looking at. And then, like some of them you do have to apply directly from this system. Some of them will have you go to the carrier website to do it. So, and it'll tell you there what to do. But there's also now a test drive where you can demo the application. So it shows you and walks you through it so you can practice the application prior to doing them. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a practice. That wasn't there before. This is new in the last month or so. So the test drive is really cool. Now we have digital products. So our company is really, really being talked about right now amongst the industry. The industry is, and when I say industry, the carriers are very, very, they do a lot for us because we do very good business. We do business that sticks. We don't just put people in products that they don't need or don't, can't afford. We put them in things that they need and that sticks so it stays longer. But what they do is they have created digital products that are only available to us. So there's a couple term policies. There are some final expense that are for really, those are really good for like the healthier people. Like if you have a client that's, maybe they're 65, but they have zero medications, they're healthy, you can run some of these final expense numbers and they're going to have really good rates comparatively to other places. We have very good advanced markets, so IULs and like the debt-free life. These are all things that are happening. The Quantum is going to be a product. I think it's instant issue IUL coming soon. That's coming out, and it's going to be that one's actually going to be really cool, and that's going to go into the Navigator system too. I'm going to take a drink real quick. My throat gets really dry. I'm sure you guys have seen cash flow quadrant. Basically, it's just different. Your employee, passive income, all the things. If you are the employee, you go to a job, you trade time for money. If you're self-employed, you own the job. So self-employed would be more like, hey, I am an independent broker. I work for myself. Whatever I make, that's me. But that you own your job. Okay. That's what that is. The goal here is to get you to being a business owner and earn passive income. That's the whole goal of our company, is to get you to where you are making money even when you're not working. And that's how you build. You build you build yourself into a leader, you help bring others along, build them up into leaders, and you start building this passive income. So, and then obviously once you're doing that, then you start investing and then you're owning your investments also. But here's the bridge. We want you to go from self-employed as a broker into a business owner where you own a system. You're recruiting, you're bringing people in, you are building an agency, you're helping other brokers build an agency themselves, and it turns into this massive thing. So you work with people people work with you, you earn bigger money. You're trading time for money in this quadrant. So you're dialing, you're calling your leads, you're setting the appointments, you're issuing the policies. That's how you're making money in this self-employed area. But when you go over here, You're developing leaders. You're helping them get good at that. You're helping them be producers. You're helping them bring producers on. All of that happens, but you're then at that point, you're just trading, leadership. You're trading mentorship. You're doing all of that for money. So it's really, really awesome. And that's what we want everyone to get to. So how do we make money? So when you partner with us, you become a broker. Like I said, you have access to about 40 different carriers. You're not going to need all of them. You're not going to want all of them, but you have access to them. Now, this was very important to me. I talked to a lot of places out there, and some of them were like, oh, you get paid on Fridays. You get paid at the end of the month. Like you get paid whatever. I was not about that. I wanted a company where the carriers paid me. When I write a policy, I want them to pay me. I don't want it to be switched to someone's hands, someone's hands, someone's hands, then I get a paycheck. I want to make the money of what I actually did, production that I did. So all of our carriers pay you your commissions directly. No need to wait until Friday or the end of the month for your paycheck. You get it in 24 to 48 hours with most carriers. Some carriers will hold it till Friday, but they're still paying you. So, and I don't really know how many there are of that. I haven't actually dealt with that yet, but I know there is a couple out there who pay all their commissions on Fridays. But nonetheless, they pay you directly. So it's not going to me. It doesn't go to my upline. It doesn't go to the company. It goes directly to you from your carriers. If you write a policy with Mutual of Omaha tomorrow, which is Wednesday, you will get paid by Friday. Thursday or Friday, depending on how late or how early in the day you write the policy and how long it took to get approved and all that stuff. But 24 to 48 business hours from the approval, you get paid. So, how this looks. So, all of our agents start at 80% commission. Like I said earlier, you start at 80, you can go up to 95% commission in the first 3 to 6 months, depending on how you work. If you want to come in and you're just gung ho, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. You first month you write a policy, get five or not a policy, but $5,000 in business. The first month you move up to 85%. The next month you do 7,500, you go up to 90%. 12,500 the third month you go up to 95. That's if you do it on the fast track, okay? You don't have to do that and you still can get increases. So I have never been in a job where I increased my commission in 15% or my pay 15% in 1 year, much less 6 months or 3 months. You have the ability to do it in 6 months. So go up to 85. You just have to do $2,500 in issued business. That can be 2 policies, 2 months in a row. You could be at 85%. Then the next 2 months, 5,000. So maybe 4 or 5 policies. The next month, maybe 10 policies. That's just kind of guessing, but 95%. So 3 months, you can get to 95 if you're doing it faster, or a little bit slower, you can still get there in 6 months. And if you definitely write down questions, because at the end I'll let you guys ask any questions that you possibly have too. But here's kind of an example of if you're a part-time agent, which most people do start part-time. Most people come in the business, they start part-time, they maybe have other jobs outside of this, and they're just kind of trying to add extra money. Some people just want to write 1 policy a month just to pay for their kids to do dance or to pay for, travel baseball or whatever. And then they start saying, wow, I just wrote 1 policy and that paid for this. So if you write a few, you obviously have more. So 15 to 20 hours a week if you're part-time on average, you can average about 6 policies a month on average. And this, of course, you can do more, you can do less. That is just the average. 1,200 is the annual premium on average. And the carriers, like I said, pay you 75% upfront. So if you did 6 policies a month, you're at 80% contract. In a month, you could be at like 5,700 in a month. That's a big deal. A big deal for writing 6 policies. That's not that much. 6 policies is not that much. So looking at that, you would be looking about 70,000 in a year if you were writing 6 policies a month. Obviously, if you're writing 6 policies in a month, your contract level is going to go up because you're going to get your increases. So it's going to be more than that. But this is just an example. If you were at 80%, this is what it would look like. Full-time agent, same thing. 35 to 40 hours a week, 15 to 20 policies per month, which I had a friend who he just started this business and well, I have a friend, not had. I have a friend who started this business in January and he just came in and went gung ho. Like, I am going to make this work. He had been in a business or in a job where he was six figures a year plus. He lost that job in November of last year. This happened to pop up in his wherever he applied for it, and he's like, God's telling me to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And he, in the last year, $249,000 in issued business is what he wrote on his own pen was $249,000 in business. That is wild. So first year in business, never done this before, never been in insurance. He was in like waste management or something like that, like trash. I'm not exactly sure what he did, but that's a lot. And so that's the potential that you have here. And he does work, obviously, he works probably 40 hours a week, but he's averaging right now 20 to $30,000 in issued business a month, every single month. So his potential is higher than what this is, which is something that everyone can have the ability to do, but you don't have to. Just depends what you're looking for. Like I said, some people are looking to just pay their kids dance or travel baseball. He wanted to make way more impact and help more families and not have to go back to a 9 to 5. And he, made way more. And he was offered a lot. Like I think he was offered two jobs after he started here, $150,000 a month or a year. But he knew and he could feel like what he was doing here was going to be more than that, which $249,000, he got most of that in commission. So pretty freaking cool. All right, now here's the agency builder opportunity side. So if you didn't want to do or if you wanted to just produce, this you don't have to pay attention to. If you don't want to build, you never want to recruit, this is not going to pertain to you. You don't have to pay attention to this. But if your goal is to be able to have passive income, making money when you're sleeping, making money when you're traveling, making money when you're sleeping, and all that you're doing is kind of, yeah, you're doing some producing, but you're helping others do the same thing, then this would be for you. So, like I said, this is one of the things that I decided because I saw that there was an opportunity to have my own agency, an exclusive agency ownership. You hit a certain level, you sign papers, your business becomes yours, and you can pass it down to your friends and family, or not to your friends, but to your family down the line. So that's kind of what this part of it is you can pass it down to the family. So you build it as long as you want, you can give it to them, sell it to them, whatever, or you can sell the business at one point and someone can buy it from you. That is up to you. You have that ability once you get to this point. So think about this. Would you rather be paid only when you work or have a business paying you when you are not working? That's the thing to think about here. You start as a broker, you come in, you learn the basics, training, mentorship, appointments, all of that. You share the opportunity with your friends. Maybe you have friends that you want to work with. Maybe you have someone that you're like, yeah, I want to do this business with my family. I want to, whatever it looks like. You plug people into the system. New agents will go through the same training that you did. You mentor them on buying leads, dialing, setting appointments. You don't do the work for them. You just simply show them the system. And then you earn overrides on what they do. So if you came in and you're at 80%, and I was at 95%, if you write a policy, I would get the difference between the 80 and the 95. So the carriers would pay me a spread of the 15%. And that's the same for you. If you were at 90%, you bring somebody in, they start at 80%, they write a policy, you get 10%. And it's not coming from them. It's coming from the carrier for you helping them, mentoring them, showing them the ropes, showing them how to do it. You get paid a little commission on that. And then you scale your agency. The more agents you have, the more residual income that you can make. So how do the overrides work? So if, like I kind of just said, say she's at 105%, she brings in Sally over here who's at 80%. She would make a difference of 25% when Sally issues a policy, and then the same here as you go. So like for herself, like an agency owner, $50,000 agency, she has 15,000 personal production. 35,000 in agency production, and her average spread amongst all those people is 15%. She's looking at about 252,000 in a year if she's doing that consistently. That's a big deal. That's a lot of money. That's like doctor money. But don't have to go to doctor school, like medical school. You just get your insurance license. Pretty crazy. All right, so single agent example. New agent, 80% contract, writes $1,000 premium. They earn $800. If you're at 100%, you keep 20% spread, $200. So you have a new agent, writes a policy. They make 800, you make 200. If that was the example, you didn't write the policy, but you still get paid because one, you're mentoring them, you're showing them how to underwrite, you're helping them underwrite, help walking them through maybe an application the first time, whatever it might be, but that's how that works. Now, here is small team example. You bring 5 agents to your business, and if each are writing 10,000 in premium in a month, that is a $50,000 APV in a month if you have 5 people writing that much business. And if you're averaging 20% override, that's almost that's $10,000 in overrides in a month just by having 5 people. So 5 friends, 5 family, 5 people that you meet that don't want to be at a job anymore, whatever it looks like, you want to share it with whoever. That's what it could look like. 20% override if you're producing first, you're bringing agents in, you're helping them. That could be your example with a small team. Now, 10 agents, you can be averaging $20,000 in overrides on top of your personal production. If you're dreaming bigger, you're building big, however you want to do it. But that's just what is possible here. You have the ability to do this. You don't have to. No one's going to tell you you have to produce, or, obviously you have to produce because you have to make money. But no one's going to tell you you have to recruit. But if you're saying, I want to make money when I'm sleeping, that's what you have to do. You have to build an agency if you want to make money while you're sleeping. That's just what passive income is. All right. Now, what makes Symmetry different? Well, the capital bonus, there's bonuses there. There's an equity bonus where if you hit a certain level, you start earning bonuses based on, a ton of different things. Producer bonuses, you reward successful agents for writing agents, add up to 5% additional commission to your sales. So that is one thing I believe that if you hit like 10,000 in production in a month, you can start getting that. Like there's certain things in there that you get. Bird dog bonus. This is available to Symmetry agents who recruit agencies to our like B2B system. So if you have like maybe somebody owns a PNC agency, but they don't do life insurance, that might be something that someone you can reach out to, that you can say, hey, you should add life insurance, and then they would be a part of Symmetry. They then write policies for Symmetry, and then they become like one of your agents. But you can get a certain amount of money through that as well. And then the carriers have different rewards too. So like when you first start the business, if you come in and write a certain amount of business in the first couple of months or whatever, like they have different bonuses that are paid by these carriers too. And I'm not sure how many of them do. I think I know of 4 for sure that do it. I'm just not sure if there's others that do too. All right, so if you're not licensed yet, what it takes to get started, obviously the licensing, it's simple and fast process. I have discounts if you have to take the course. I have a friend, Melissa Dillon, who does the insurance exam queen. So if your state doesn't require a course, I would automatically just recommend you doing her system because it teaches you a lot better than just reading. Then you plug into training and mentorship. You be coachable and willing to learn. You work ethic, part-time or full-time, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, if you're doing part-time or if you're doing full-time, just be consistent. Like figure out what days or hours you want to work the business and kind of stick to that. So it gives you like a consistency. It just helps with your business growing and stuff. We already have a system in place. You don't have to reinvent it. And you must be willing to invest in yourself and your business. So, like I said, successful agents spend on average 10% of the amount that they want to make. So if you're like, I want to make 10,000 a month, you're going to be spending about $1,000 in leads to get there. Unless you have a huge social media and you're a huge influencer and you just post something and people are running to you, that's not likely. But if you do have that, use it. use social media however you can to build your business. But if you don't and you don't have a following or you don't have, are not comfortable posting or sharing what you're doing, the leads are there for you to do, and you'll need to invest in that if you don't have another way to do it. So if you are already licensed, so how this works is we'll send you an invite to Symmetry. You put in your license information. Once they verify that your license is good, it's active, everything, you'll get a welcome email. And this is where you're going to start learning the systems. You'll submit your contracting requests and start training. Um, Immediately, as soon as you do that, you have access to two of the carriers to write policies. We always recommend writing a policy on yourself if you don't have a policy or a family member, maybe kids or whatever, just to kind of show yourself how to do the system. And obviously, if you don't have life insurance, it's going to be hard for you to explain how important life insurance is to people. So we always recommend you be a product of the product. So if you don't have it, you got to get it. That way you can share why. And then once you're through the first phase of training, we'll say, okay, what are your income goals? At this point, we'll show you how to buy the leads and start calling leads. And then from there, you kind of have a goal to hit your first 6 applications. So the reason for that being is you can't get even into the good leads or the newer leads until you have 6 applications in. So you'll be buying those old leads, which are only about 40 cents, so they're cheap, but you're dialing a lot and you're getting people who are done being called because they've been called by however many, wherever they were, searching or whatever. They've probably been called a lot. They've told people no, whatever you might get out of those, but you want to get those first 6 applications. So then when you're ready, you can move on to the good leads, the ones that are new, the ones who just requested the information this morning or just called in last night, and then you're getting those fresh leads. So you're the first one calling them. You're not like the 20th person calling them. So that's kind of the goal for that. And obviously, 6 applications, it's getting you paid. So you're getting in profit. We want you to be profitable as soon as possible. That way, you are not just sitting here and not making money. That's not what anyone wants. We want you to come in. We want you to get your commission increases as quickly as possible, make as much commission as you possibly can. That is what our goal is with any new agent is the more money you can make up like right away, the longer you're gonna, stay. If someone's sitting around and they're like, I haven't issued any policies, they're not gonna last and they're gonna stop. So we want you to be profitable ASAP. Now, if you didn't fill this out earlier, this is the QR code that just connects you to me. You fill out your information, I'll text you, and then we can connect, that way. If you're interested in the business, if you need help with licensing, if you just kind of want to talk about something, like I've had people come on here and who already partnered with a company, or I've even had people who are already with Symmetry but with somebody else and they've joined the Zoom and they just wanted to ask a couple questions, and I'm totally good with that. Feel free to do that. Scan the QR code, put your information in, send me a text, whatever it might be, and then we could just connect. And that's basically it. So if you have any questions, I'm going to go back. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. And if not, you can feel free to just text me and we can chat that way also. But I'm going to put my cell phone number in the comments too. And you can feel free to text me. And if you have friends in the business already, so if you are on here and one of your friends is on my team, you can still reach out to me and I will make sure that we get you connected and so that you're part of that person's team also, which is kind of the way that we want to build. Is I want to help people build as we go also. So if you are in the business and we do a Zoom like this, like most of the time, there's not very many on here tonight, but most of the months that I do them, there's usually about 16 to 20 people on, and usually out of those, we get usually 3 or 4 people that end up starting the business with us. So I want to start spreading that wealth and sharing with people. Like if there's someone comes in from Washington and there's a Washington agent, let's pair those two together so they can not only be running buddies, they can help each other, but it also helps me as we go too. The bigger we build and the more successful you are, the longer you're going to stay and the more profitable you're going to be. So My cell phone number is in the comments, 623-203-0364. Feel free to send me a text, scan the QR code, fill that form out if not, and we will be all set. But I will let you go since nobody is asking any questions. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will have the replay. So if you want the replay, send me a text and I'll just send you the replay. But yeah, I hope you have an amazing day and Happy New Year to everybody. And good luck with whatever you choose to do with your license, whether it's with me or with somebody else. Is I still wish you all the luck and all the success in 2026. Happy New Year. Have a good night.